Britney Spears is returning to Manchester for the first time in 5 years. The American pop songstress will bring The Circus, starring Britney Spears, to the MEN Arena on June the 17th. Britney has sold 62 million albums since Baby One More Time back in 1999, and her latest album, Circus, is the fastest selling to date. The album's second single, also named Circus, is released on Monday. Now, today marks the English naturalist Charles Darwin's birthday. He was born to the day 200 years ago, and this year we will see an array of events to celebrate his influence on the world with his evolution of species theory. The Portico Library have been given a collection of Darwin's book collection to display during this period, along with detail about the man himself. Here's more.
My husband, Professor Wilson, has such a fantastic collection of all the Darwin books. We've got 37 books on display here, most of them written by Darwin, and many of them first or early editions. And on top of that, we put together a lot of information and photographs and just followed the history of his life. Well, the one everybody knows, of course, is Origin of Species, which was the first really controversial publication that he did. It was not at the time as controversial as The Descent of Man, which he published some years later. And he published Descent of Man because he'd really only hinted in Origin of Species as to what he was getting at, what he believed, that man must have been descended from apes.
Why was that so controversial?
Oh, because the Church of England was very unhappy about him. The Christian tradition is that man is quite separate from animals, and one of the things that distinguishes him from animals is his sense of right and wrong, his idea of moral issues and ethics. The sort of work you see in these books, you can see these painstaking diagrams, incredibly detailed diagrams he was drawing, vast quantities of data in tables that he was slowly amassing through this virtual research group that spanned the world.
Now, here's some ideas for you tomorrow night. Star of Black Books, Shaun of the Dead, and Run Fat Boy Run, Dylan Moran returns with his show, What It Is, at the Opera House. Edwyn Collins will be performing at the opening gig at the Buxton Opera House for their Festival of Live Music. He's one of the most influential figures on the Glasgow post-punk scene, beginning back in 1976. Absolutely Frank is still on Oldham Coliseum until 20th of February. It stars familiar face Geoffrey Hughes. I went along to have a bit of a chinwag with him. So what is the story? Because it's written by the author of Calendar Girls, isn't it?
It is, Tim Firth, and it was originally called Man of Letters, which is a cracking title as well, but I think they wanted something a bit more punchy. And it's about a chap who has spent 25 years in the same firm and is presented with a YTS trainee that has no reverence for anything apart from his band and his drawing. And then in the second half, it's almost mirrored the situation where the older guy is the trainee and the younger guy is the manager.
Now, John Cooper Clarke and the Bard of Salford will be back on stage at the Dance House Theatre tomorrow. He initially achieved recognition in the late 1970s and cemented his image as a punk poet by opening for acts such as the Sex Pistols, Joy Division, Buzzcocks and New Order. The R&B group Jodeci are on the Manchester Apollo tomorrow. They can claim to be the starting point for the careers of artists such as Missy Elliott and Timbaland, while also having success with a string of hit singles and platinum albums. And that's it from me. We'll be back tomorrow with a roundup of what you can do this weekend. Bye for now.